got an elaborate, it's not actually, it's a really bad setup for my iPad. My name's Nick. I don't think I've ever said that. I've never even introduced myself. My name's Nick. I have been sick. And as a cure for my boredom, I've been making videos and learning to make videos on YouTube, which is really fun. I suck at technology. But here we are. Today, I can't even tell. It's a little bit blurry. These are my badass librarian glasses. Now that I'm old, I need them to see anything. Anything within this distance. Can't see anymore. Wear your sunglasses. I keep saying to my daughter, wear your sunglasses and sunscreen. I'm nearly 50. I'm 49. I turned 50 this year. I like caramel lattes, and I'm a coffee addict, hardcore coffee addict. I've been single for 5 years by choice. I separated from my partner of 20 years about 5 years ago. He's the father of my little girl, who's not a little girl, she's 16 in a couple of days. Excuse me. And since us separating, I've had absolutely no interest in dating. And I knew I needed a break. I looked back at my whole life. I've been a serial long-term relationship doer. I'm not interested in getting married ever. I find the whole marriage thing fucking weird, to be honest. The dresses, the shoes, the money. I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do less. But I'm very much for long-term committed relationships. It's just the marriage thing. It's just weird. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't like what it stands for. I don't like a whole bunch about it. But don't get me wrong. My relationships have all been long-term. And 20 years was the relationship I had with my daughter's father. Sorry, guys. I've got a frog in my throat so bad. So it's been 5 years and I have no interest in dating, and I'm starting to think that this is it for me. I have zero desire for a relationship. I have always thought that one day I'll be ready again, maybe soon, but I'm just not. And, you know, I guess my main thing was I'm a single mum. I've got health conditions. I've just had surgery for a genetic defect that I have in my heart that I did not know I had. So my priorities are with my daughter, and I brought a house and just making sure that she's got a nice home to grow up in and that we're okay without her dad. Both her dad and me were lucky enough to have owned a house together. Well, we weren't. We were paying a mortgage on a house together, but we had been doing so for about 15 years. So when we sold our house, we were each able to go and get new mortgages. So life is tough. I'm a single mum paying a mortgage on my own in Australia, and it's the hardest fucking thing ever. To the point that every day I don't know if I'm going to make it to paying next month's mortgage. It's how bad it is. But I'm not going to get into a relationship because we live in a society that where one wage isn't enough to survive. Now, I have never internet dated in my life. I never want to internet date in my life. I never even go out anymore. But that's mostly because I've been really sick. And now we know why, and it's been fixed. And I expect and already do have a lot more energy than I have in a long time. But I want to tell you a secret, and I think that this is the case for lots of women. Hormones are everything. Everything. And my body, as a 49-year-old, is done with that shit. You know, it's the whole desire and the whole attraction and that kind of thing is very much a mating ritual of sorts. And my body's just like, yeah, nah, I'm done. And more than that, as a woman, sorry, I know that being in a new relationship means having sex when I don't want to. And I'm just not prepared to do that anymore. And I think that's something that almost all women do. We know, we're told by you guys, we're told by all the women in our life. You know, whenever I brought up that I was over sex, and in fact more than that, it's painful, and I'm sick of subjecting myself to that when it's horrible because a man needs it. I'm just too old for that shit. And I don't want to be doing that if I don't want to be doing that. So apart from the money, I'm really enjoying, actually it's been a terrible time. I've been so sick, I can't go out. I haven't been doing a whole lot, but I expect to do a whole lot. And I'm enjoying just doing it by myself, making my own choices. And it's going to be really interesting for me to see if that changes. I have gone from literally one long-term relationship to the next since I was 14. I don't feel that I chose any of them. I didn't choose any of those relationships. I feel like I fell into them out of convenience and situationship, and I don't want to do that again. Me and my ex get along great. I love men. I have great men family members. This isn't an anti-man thing. I've got the best dad and the best brother and the best men in my life. I have got probably more male friends than female friends. And I love them. But they're completely platonic, and they always have been. It's good. Well, it's always been good because I've always been in a relationship. It's meant that for the men friends, I've always been not available anyway. And when I go to festivals, it's like me and about 7 guys, and maybe one other girlfriend. So this isn't a hating man thing. I love men. And maybe I will love a man again one day, but just not right now. I've even thought, fuck, I wish I was gay. Like, women are just, I'm just not gay. I'm just not gay. So while I can imagine myself living with a woman better than I can as a man, and just enjoying feminine energy for once in my life, it's a house, me and my daughter, you know, she has her girlfriends come round. Men have big energy in a house. They're very, not all of them, but it's a real dominant kind of thing. And I'm just enjoying not having that. Absolutely no disrespect to men at all. Maybe I will change my mind. Maybe I'll be single forever. I don't know. I can't believe it's been 5 years. I feel like I'm a virgin again. Um, you know, it's funny how women, our reproductive clock kind of ends at about my age. And usually after menopause, not that I've gone through menopause yet, but I'm on my way. Lots of women just completely lose their sex drive. And women know that men need sex. I'm sick of having sex when I don't want to have sex. And I just don't think I'm prepared to do that anymore. My cat's knocking at the door. Will you excuse me? Sushimi! This is my boyfriend. I've got 4 boyfriends. Their names are Sushi, Jupiter, Gizmo, and Gordy. Yeah, I know you had a fight. Before I made this video, I could hear this yelling and it sounded like somebody was getting murdered outside, and it was Sushi, my tiny little kitten. Well, he's not a kitten, but he's a tiny cat, chasing the neighbour's tortoiseshell off our property. He's not a brave cat either. I'm very impressed. They're actually, none of them are meant to be out. Got cat hair in my face. But cats aren't allowed out where we live anymore because we live in a national park. So it's the right thing to do. But all of our cats have been used to going out and now they're not allowed out. So it's like they're plotting their escape all the time, and they get out all the time because I've got kids and doors get opened and that kind of thing. Where was I? So I'm just trying to get financially independent, which is extremely difficult because of my health situation. I'm paying a mortgage. I'm the only adult here. And I've been really sick because I've not been able to work. And I have the most amazing parents, and thank God I do, because I'd be screwed without them. But because I knew that with my health conditions, paying a mortgage on my own is a lot. It does not allow any space for me to be unwell. Mind you, now that my heart's fixed, who knows where I'll be, but for a long time I've been really unwell. Excuse me. So my main objective is just working out how I can pay a mortgage and food and bills and insurance and all of the things on my own comfortably, but while still being there for my daughter. And it's a battle. Being a single parent, holy shit, it's so fucking hard. You know, when you've got another adult present, even if it's purely the sharing the burden of worry about costs of living. So on my own, as a single mum who can't work, who's had open heart surgery, I'm paying mortgage, I'm paying all of the bills, I'm paying for my daughter's private school. She's not private school, it's an independent school. Just everything, it's all me. And I can't work right now. I have to get back to work as soon as I can, but right now I'm not, and I haven't been. Hi, Shishi. Have you come to visit me again? Did you kick ass outside before? I saw how brave you were. I know, I was very surprised. He's such a tiny cat, and he's not normally like that. But a cat was in our yard, and he just chased her away. She was a girl too. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my thing now is I'm not, things are tough. Things are really tough. I need to work out how to make all of this work comfortably and without having somebody to share the responsibility with, or even just for the chats that are involved in around money and housing things. And at the same time, I've lost my dad, who is very much still alive, but he has Alzheimer's. So I feel like I've got absolutely nobody that I can talk to about money, stress, and responsibilities that I have. You know, once upon a time, I would have talked to my parents, but that just doesn't work anymore. I don't have a partner, so it's shouldering it all whilst having a kid. So you can't just fucking let it all fall apart. You just can't. Are you allowed to swear on YouTube? Because to be honest with you, if I didn't have a child, I would sell my house. I would buy a road vehicle of some kind and I would travel. And that's just a fantasy because that isn't going to happen because I do have a child and I love her. Being a mum is my favorite thing in the world. But keeping a roof over your head, especially in Australia, we're in the middle of a housing and cost of living crisis, is so fucking hard. I can't even begin to tell you how hard it is. And so to all the single parents out there, like, I've always had a deep respect for single parents. When I was growing up, it was really frowned upon. I just heard the adult conversations going on around single mums especially. And God, they copped a lot of disrespect. And I always just thought to myself, these women, it was more so women back then because it was when people separated back then, it tended just to be an automatic. The women got the main custody. The dad will see them on the weekend or every second weekend. So it was the women that I was looking at thinking, wow, you're doing it all. You're running the show, you're running the business, you're buying the house, you're doing all the things. And so I always had that respect there. But since becoming a single mum, oh my fucking gosh. Like, single mums and single parents are amazing. The one thing I have done that helps me enormously, that I purposefully did because I'm nearly 50, because I've got a genetic heart defect, because my health can render me unable to work for a period of time, what I did do was I put in a tiny house on my block and I fenced the block off, like separate from mine, and I planted trees and I worked my ass off and I plumbed it and I rented out to a really lovely girl. And that has just been my lifesaver. Because now that I can't work, if I didn't have that, I'd be screwed. You probably know I said that on YouTube either. I can't be myself on YouTube. I'm not a bad person. I just swear a lot. I'm an Aussie from a bogan town. So I just swear like it's just part of my language, so please don't be offended by it. I don't mind if you don't swear. So yeah, I'm single. I've been single for 5 years. I'm sick of having sex for somebody else's sake. It's rather unfortunate that women sort of go through menopause and it shows over at about 50, whereas men stay fertile their whole life. So they've got that. And we're just like, most of us, not all of us, go away. It's no disrespect to you. I love you. I'm happy to cuddle you. I'm happy to have a crush. I'm just too old to be doing things I don't want to do. And I need to be smart about, I don't want to just fall into another relationship because it's there. So I'm really enjoying being single. I feel the need to tell people because I had friends that broke up from long-term relationships at about the same time as I did, right? They were living with men again within a matter of a few months. And I'm just like, what is going on? I couldn't think of anything worse. Once again, this is not about guys. This is about, I think, long-term relationships. It's time for me to enjoy my daughter and try and keep this house. And who knows what the future brings, but I have zero need, zero desire, and I just don't know if that's going to change. And I'm happy for that to change or not to change. It's going to take someone pretty special to make me change that. And I think that's a good place to be. Because in the past it's been, and this happens so much when you're young, you're single, you meet someone, you're living together. Perhaps some people are more conscious about their love choices, but fuck, I haven't been. And that's not to say I've been with a whole bunch of bad people. I just never have chosen, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's it. That's it. I think I'm, what do you call it? A spinster? Is that what it is? Is that the word? I don't even know what the word is, but I think it's more common these days. And I wonder, is it men as well? Like, do you guys come out of relationships? Like, you've just come out of a 20-year relationship? We know what relationships can be like. And I know what women can be like to live with too. You know, I'm talking about man energy and how it's so man and like it's a negative thing. But women have their own negative energy too. And I know what that's going to be like. And I wonder, do you guys come out of relationships and just go, oh my gosh, I'm so not doing that again? I'm just curious. Or are you just driven to because you've got the whole desire thing until you die going on, which is really unfortunate for you because I'm more interested in things like art and gardening than worrying about all of that shit again. But we shall see. Anyway, this is a long ramble about me not wanting a relationship. And I think that's it. See ya.